How did you direct or develop the character for Gary Winston? I found him to be the David Koresh of the high-tech sets. You've been here, you've studied it, you've looked at reports, police reports. What is the most significant factor in this accident?
Well, I got this bracelet from Carlito.
What's the one thing you want everyone to know about you?
It's my trip.
How is it working with Ken and Soderbergh?
Oh, he's the greatest guy in the world. But he didn't direct Traffic. That's been made up. That was someone else did that.
He was a drug trafficker in the movie.
Yeah, that's what he was.
He provided the drugs.
That's right.
She has no life. How do you relate?
I relate. Well, I work a lot, too.
This picture was taken on the Vatican steps in Rome. They were on their way with an audience with the Pope.
Rhonda Guess in L.A. with more on what FBI agents told reporters. Rhonda, what about the possibility this was a hate crime?
Lester, police and federal investigators are towing the line on that. They say they simply do not know if this was a hate crime. They don't know if this was connected to any kind of terrorism. They say, so far, Hedayat acted alone. In fact, police and federal investigators are piecing together all the information they can on the life of 41-year-old Hassan Mohammed Hedayat. They're interested in delving into his state of mind, and to do that, they're going to need some help. At a presser earlier today at the Federal Building in Westwood, investigators asked for the public's help, and they also moved to quash any rumors about Hedayat and hate crimes.
There has been some reports coming out in the media that supposedly this individual was on a list or a watch list. That is not true.
Lester, here at LAX at the International Terminal, it's very busy today and things have returned to some semblance of normality. But inside at the LL counter where the violence unfolded yesterday, the cleanup continues and the counter is closed.
As the fog rolled in, it became completely dark, and some drivers panicked and hit the brakes. But that's the last thing you want to do in a dense fog. Experts say if conditions permit, just ease off the accelerator and don't hit or tap the brakes. Jim Ainsworth isn't the only one who's starting over. Here at Flowers Manufacturing, the tornado completely destroyed the business and took the roof off. They'll be moving out from here and starting over as well. Domed stadium, touchdown, or fumble, we'll have to wait until November to see. That's when the legislature will vote on the matter. Laura, back to you. It was a very strange trip and a short one for a woman who is believed to have abandoned her 3-year-old son at Midway Airport this morning. The woman is in police custody tonight, but so far police are saying very little about the case.
I just want the best for my children. I care about them more than anything in this world, and I want them to have the very best in life. I want them to be safe. I want them to be taken care of, and I want them to be loved.
He wants what's best for the kids. However, I think he doesn't realize the selfishness in his decision, or I think he's basically thinking with his heart and not his head.
For the last 3 years, Brooke and Alex Walgreen have lived with their grandfather, Charles Walgreen III, and his wife, Kathleen, at their Lake Forest estate. The drugstore CEO and his wife already have temporary custody, but have launched a legal battle to adopt them, taking all parental rights from their daughter-in-law.
I do care about Lauren. I care about her very much. I know she loves the children very much. And I know this is very painful for her, and I'm sure she's going through the same emotional hell.
This is the couple in happier times before several DUI charges against Tad and an 8-month sentence for driving under the influence of alcohol. Last week, Tad Walgreen was in the awkward position of testifying about Lauren's history of depression and alleged abuse of prescription and illegal drugs.
It's been a nightmare. I don't sleep. I've lost weight. I'm losing time from my job. It's very emotional for me.
The killing lasted for an entire day at the Treblinka death camp on July 24, 1944. The Russian soldiers were getting closer, so Nazi guards began to slaughter the remaining Jews. Federal prosecutors believe this 72-year-old Polish immigrant was one of the guards at the Treblinka death camp. Bronislaw Haida is accused of participating in the murder of 300 Jews and other crimes.
The Nazis are scum, and he knows it, and I know it, but he's not one of them. Can you get that straight?
Haida's defense attorney says his client was never a guard at the camp. In an exclusive interview with Fox reporter Dane Placco last month, Haida said he was a prisoner in a German labor camp during World War II.
I got witnesses.
You have evidence?
Sure.
What kind of evidence?
People who were sitting with me in the labor camp.
Prosecutors are relying on the testimony of World War II expert Dr. Charles Sydnor. He says Haida's own family members admitted he was a member of the SS. Also, his name appears on personnel records from the Treblinka death camp in 1943 and 44. He allegedly transported Jews to work in the camp and beat them. Russian soldiers managed to capture some of the guards from the camps. Their names were also on personnel lists, and when they were interviewed, they said Bronislaw Haida was one of them.
Well, I was thinking he could be one of the people that was involved in killing my family. I don't know, but he could be one of them.
Aaron Elstron's 6-year-old sister and other members of his family were killed at Treblinka.
Whatever modicum of justice can be done should be done in honor of the victims and in honor of the values of our country.
This is a trial of lists, records, and statements. It's a story of atrocities that cannot be forgiven with the passage of time. Rhonda Guess, Fox News, Chicago. The young man pictured here traveled the world seeking the secrets of longevity, vitality, and eternal youth. And now, decades later, this same man, Bob Del Monteque, says he's found the fountain of youth.
I'm a good example of it. I will be 79 in November, and when I'm going to be 80, I'm still going to be in great shape. When I'm going to be 90, I'm still going to be in great shape. When I'm going to be 100, I'm still going to be in great shape because I want to.
So how does Bob keep in shape? And what does he feed his well-toned frame?
This will equate to pounds and pounds of fresh vegetables.
Really?
Yeah.
Bob takes a bevy of nutritional supplements like A, C, and E, and shark cartilage, he says, for sports injuries. For the last 65 years, he started the day with oatmeal. He says it gives you the energy to build muscle. He stocks his cabinets with brown rice and other grains and spices.
I'm really curious about what's inside of your refrigerator. I see yogurt.
Yeah.
And Gil.
And I have a little wine. Life would be very boring, you know, if you didn't have a little.
Bob eats 5 smaller meals a day and no complex carbohydrates like potatoes or pasta after 4 o'clock.
Well, they're not going to take my meat away from me. I'm going to have that, your Trail Riders top sirloin. I want that rare.
He eats out several times a week, and he doesn't deprive himself. But if he overindulges, he doubles or triples his 100 nightly sit-ups.
It helps so much. It just gives you such a mental and a spiritual lift, being in great physical shape. You know, I still have the wiggle in the walk and the giggle in the talk.
Come on, move this. Shake that body.
That's Bob posing down and working the crowd at a bodybuilder's exhibition. But things used to be different. Bob says in the 70s, people laughed at him when he pushed the importance of aerobic conditioning. But then Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos wasn't laughing. He asked Bob to train his generals. At 78, Bob is a poster boy for magazines and even medical journals. Last year, the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine put his picture on the cover of their publication and nominated him for Man of the Year. Doctors point to him as the ultimate model for anti-aging and stopping the clock. UCLA Assistant Clinical Professor Dr. Ron Lawrence.
People could attain to getting very close to what he has, even if they start at 50 and 60. But even if someone is 70, they can change things around. We have seen this over and over again.
Astronauts on Apollos 1 and 2 learned from Bob, and film legends Clark Gable, Robert Mitchum, and Errol Flynn toned up with him long before anyone had coined the phrase personal trainer. Even fitness icon Arnold Schwarzenegger wants to be like Bob.
Anytime Arnold sees me, he wants me to take my shirt off and pose for everybody. I don't take my shirt off, but I do give him the little poses.
Arnold may be impressed, but Bob says many seniors are not. He says young people are more anxious to learn his secrets. He's helping Priscilla mold the perfect body.
It's making me think I want to be him when I'm 70 years old, and I mean, it's so beautiful.
Bob's written his own book on how to look great at any age. He says that over the years, he's come to terms with growing old. You're fighting it.
I did fight it for a while, but now I'm enjoying it.